Now, it's been a very, very difficult week for me on Sorare. I got exposed for exactly how much money I'd lost in this game. I got called out as a dirty grifter. One of the sharpest minds has found, well, nothing really. I mean, it's really the stupidest thing. You may have seen that I was just being like, let's give Sorare a break. Like, they're doing a better job than the sentiment is reckoning. And one of these guys has come out with the just most made up statistics ever that I've lost all this money and that's the reason I'm trying to get people to buy and I'm so happy. Which makes no sense in itself, because the reality would be if you had lost loads of money, you would be upset and complaining about it, which is what people were doing. And then I thought, let's just make a video out of it. Like, this is the best possible scenario. Let's show exactly all the numbers year by year. Let's go through it. And before that, I thought, let's do this. Let's get a tier 3 essence crafted, because I know you'll all want the dirty numbers to find out I'm a dirty grifter. But we're celebrating, baby. We're on the white wine. Bitcoin's at 100k. We've got 100 essence to craft a tier 3. What could possibly go wrong? Last time we got a Chiesa from Liverpool. Now we definitely need a Premier League player. It should all be champion. But at the end of the day, any good champion player is better than a bad Premier League player. Like, Chiesa barely played a game for Liverpool. Let's hope for something good. 73s, there's been a couple minutes. England is a good start. Give me a striker, give me a cam. Oh, defender's bad. Mark Gay, that's all I can think of. Newcastle, don't be Trippier. Please don't be Trippier. Lewis Hall, okay. Now, I think he's starting. I have got a Newcastle collection, and I get to unveil him. I'm not sure, unveil him actually. I'm not sure if I get a double points here. You get effectively a double chance of getting a special edition card today. So potentially I've got that. Let's see. Now, I've opened 2 and I've got 0 special editions recently. And by recently I mean today. And this animation looks exactly the same. So we've probably got 3 L's. No special edition. A 19-year-old left-back Premier League starter, I think. Let's take a look what sort of price he's selling for. I think ultimately, okay, not bad scores. £100? Lewis Hall's £100? Aye. It is a good day. I mean, yeah, he does put up some decent scores here, to be fair. Then you add in the fact I've got a Newcastle collection. Then you add in the fact it was a tier 3 plus craft. Let's see if we've got any closer. I'm not sure if we are already on 2% or we've just gone above, but we've got Nick Pope, Bruno Guimaraes, Lewis Hall. Yeah, I think that's probably slightly better than average, but not fantastic. That would be where I'm at. But then I look at this and I'm like, £100? Maybe it's like great. Like, £100 is great. Like, wow. Okay. On to the loss. So as promised, I am going to go through every single season. My entire profit and loss will be revealed from Sorare. I've got nothing to hide from playing this game. I've not got much to hide in general, to be honest. But to start, I want to start with my in-season, because this entire negativity is brought by Sorare's dying and all of the rest of it. And my in-season journey is a perfect example of just how nonsense that all is. But anyway, we're looking at it, and I've gone out and spent a good chunk of players this season. Like, ultimately, it ended up being £4,500 worth of players. Now, keep in mind, some of these are very recent. Lewis Hall just now, Chilwell I bought today, Drewsbury Hall I bought today, Chukwuemeka I bought today. There's a bit of a trend here. I got a bit carried away with the whole special edition Christmas advent calendar thing. Semenyo and Jed Spence. Jed Spence? It's Jed Spence. Wake up, man. Effectively, they came from a, what was it? Not box opening, another promo. It was a promo on Black Friday where you got some money back if you spent some money. And these are the sort of things you need to be taken advantage of when you're playing Sorare. So effectively, this entire squad to the left was built £4,500. And I have won. I have come 5th, I've come 6th, I've come 69th, of course I have. And I've won 3.5k. Now you can look at this in two regards. Oh, you lost £1,000. Not really true, because in this scenario, this is me treating all of these players at zero cost. It wouldn't take you very long to go out and work out all I require to sell is Palmer and Saka, and then be at a profit again of probably like £300 to £400. So, you know, that is not the way to assess profit and loss on Sorare. It is a good metric for how my in-season cards are doing. It's great to show like there are jackpots to be available to win. I won 2k in 1 week in pounds, which is just nuts. And it wasn't just a one-off. I'm consistently hitting podiums. Yes, I went out and spent a decent amount of money, but a lot of this was from winnings. You know, when I won, I invested in Cole Palmer, Bruno Guimaraes, Trippier, Pope. You know, I had a reasonable enough start for the rare division. And then beyond that, what I'm looking at is the net underline here. So a net cost of £1,000 for all these players. I don't know how much they're worth now, maybe £3,000. So a good unrealized profit. But look, I treat this as like they are gone. They go to zero. I think that's a good metric to have for these in-season cards. It's not probably reality, but it could be. So a net cost of 1,000. But if you look at the percentage of the season gone, we're like 13 Premier League games through. And if you compare that to the return, I'm 76% of the way. And I think this is a great metric. Some of you at home could look at your own cards. I mean, it does require being a massive geek and writing every single purchase you're making this season in a spreadsheet. If you're doing them in trade values, you're giving them a fair value. If you're getting them for free, then you're doing it for free. If you're doing special offers, then you've got to divide their price for how much you're getting for free. I'm not saying it's cool, but if you do want to know, it's a great little metric to follow and be like, look, I'm 76% returned and I'm only like not even halfway through the season. So it shows that I'm performing well. It shows, you know, although I'm operating at a net loss currently, I'm on my way to a net gain should the same things continue, all the rest of it, yada, yada, yada. But really I want to look at, you know, the other side of the coin. That is classics dead, classics dying, classic cards have completely fell in value. And I don't disagree that point. That point is exactly factual. The only point I'm going to bring up before I show these numbers is that classic card drop that everyone experienced, it kind of was a one-off. Like, I don't see a large drop happening again like that. Now, do refer to my last video for Sorare Economics to get a better picture of the market and how I see it going and all the different risks and factors. But for now, let's get into what you might be waiting for. So this is my inspiration for the video. A massive shout out to Danza073260. He's got a massive following of 28 followers and it's exposed season for him. He's exposing nearly everybody. I've not missed the cut here. I have been exposed. Now looking at some of these numbers, I have a real trading loss of 5 Ethereum, you know, closing in on £4,000. My gallery trading down 4 ETH as well. I've deposited almost 10 ETH. You know, this is just crazy. I made my last investment on the 14th of the 8th. And yeah, just fantastic analysis from him because as I pointed out at the time, I had 0.2 in the bank and he had me as 0.78. So if you know anywhere I can go and claim that 0.78, that would be great for me. That's quite a lot of money. But the point I'm trying to get at is completely false. There's absolutely no way these are even close to realistic. But it got me thinking, like, what are the real numbers? And you can do this at home. So what you do is you just click your wallet and it's going to show you your entire history of deposits, withdrawals, even little fees you paid. Now, obviously, it's going to be very long adding this up. I've been playing for nearly 4 years. No, I didn't add them up myself. What you can do, you can just plop them into ChatGPT and then all of a sudden you just ask it the sum of your deposits, take away the fees. You can do absolutely anything. And I thought it was a genius play from a geek like me and it's worked. So let me run you through the numbers. And one key thing is that Sorare actually uses the price at the time you deposited. It's not like the price today. So you can get like a real genuine feel of how much you spent, how much you gained, all the rest of it. But yeah, let's go through the numbers. So in 2021, I actually ended up putting in £3,000 of cash. And obviously at the time, I only withdrew about £200. that was probably just me testing that it's not a scam. This platform was brand new to me. It was very niche. No one had ever really heard of it. So you could consider that a loss of however many pounds, but we're actually going to look at the unrealized loss here as well, because I am a massive spreadsheet geek, and I actually track my gallery value on a spreadsheet every now and again. I'll just write it down. So at that time, I had a gallery value of £11,000. Now, the days have gone of where you can put £3,000 in Sorare and make it 11,000. I mean, without being the best player on the game, it was just a crazy time. And like, it's one of those reasons when you see people going like, "Oh, we want it back to 2021." That was never ever gonna last. I mean, I wish I took more profit at the time, but everyone gets caught in this euphoria of higher, 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 higher. Happens in literally every single market, which is why you have your inevitable, your bing, 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 the crash. So as this continued, obviously I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, I'm loving this game. I can make so much money on it. And I put 16 more grand in. This is cumulative deposit. So 13 more grand to a 16 grand total, which is wild to think of. I then started taking money out. You got to keep in mind, like, this isn't me just like 16 grand's there. It's like, oh, put 2 grand in, maybe win a little bit, take 500 out, take 1,000 out. This is going well again. Let's put some in. All these different reasons. I got the fees. And then ultimately after this, we ended up on a gallery value of 10 grand. So it's pretty stable, like didn't really crash completely. And then we're still at a nice profit. But obviously, you have to keep in mind when you've put in this much more money, prices were going down. I was just probably a little bit slow to realize. So we move on to the next point and you see, okay, your cumulative deposits didn't really grow too much. Maybe, I'm starting to realize, okay, this isn't like some free money system. This is like every other market where, you get that euphoria and then you get reality checks. So we ended up in 2023, which was a really tough year for Sorare. This, the gallery values went down in 2022 and they just went further in 2023. Ended up from a 3 grand loss to a 3 grand gain. And this is why, I've put money in almost every single year. When I hear people saying like, oh, we should have kept the old system and it was like just a couple changes. I was a winning player. I was a good player. And I went from 3 grand up to 3 grand down. The wheels fell off. People realized that this isn't a money tree. This is a game. The economy was not in a good way as well. Every single factor was going against Sorare. And you have this sort of fallout where a drastic change is needed. And that drastic change came in what I've called Sorare 2.0. And that was this year. So up to this point, we're looking at it and I put in a little bit more money, £4,000. I haven't really lost any of my faith in Sorare. There was a time back end 2023, start of 2024, I was just getting a bit bored, same old game, same old, the winners keep winning. If you had good cards last year, they're going to be good next year. That sort of cycle where we didn't have an in-season and classic season. But that in-season actually really brought me back to the game. It's a great step in my opinion. And what that meant is that, yes, I have made my losses worse. I've gone from £3,000 down to £4,000 down. But this is actually a huge step for Sorare. It's not about your own gallery value. And this is where so many people are just getting caught up in, I've lost money, I'm so upset, they killed classic card values. Yes, because it was necessary. If you just carried on this same trend, it would have got far worse, as it was effectively probably just moving straight to this is going to die. They made a huge step, which I think will be a turning point in Sorare. I think once this negativity cloud goes from this classic and people grow up and realize, look, you've lost money, you can either move on or try again. This is where you see, like, this loss only grew by £1,000. And if we flick back to the start, that's effectively my net cost for this year. So if you think of in-season cards, which they are, a one-season sort of get 80 to 90% of your returns, then I'm at the stage where after a really good year, I could be in profit from my ability to play Sorare. Now, the difference is, in 2021, it was not your ability to play so rare. Everyone was making money. Every card was going up. A Chinese goalkeeper reserve you could double in overnight at times. That will never come back. That was never going to last. 2022 happened, and it was sort of slowing down. It had some positive momentum. People kind of thought towards the back end it got found out properly, and this was the 2023 year where NFTs died. Most of the similar sort of so rare games were either dying or using up so much money that they weren't going to be sustainable. I'm thinking of Ultimate Champions. I'm thinking of Pookie, which was more 2024. I understand, but it's that money you're using up to try and compete. 2024, yes, it's tough that a lot of your classic cards have less utility, have less usefulness. I understand. But for the longevity of the game, for the fun of the game, what you want is a platform that is pretty static. You don't have these huge price swings in cards up or down, so that what happens is that if you're playing well, you're rewarded. You will probably return more than you spend. If you're playing badly, you won't get back more than you spend. And that's a system we've had for the first time in probably ever. Because although, yes, it was better for making money in 2021, it wasn't for the best players are winning, bad players are losing. It was we're all winning together or we're all losing. So this kind of shows the reality of I'm not 10 ETH down, buddy, 21 grand or whatever that guy posted. And it doesn't matter if I was. I'm seeing the bigger picture here, saying like, I can see it. I can see why they did it. And the best part is I think it's working. People are just very slow to realise. A lot of people are stubborn. And like I said on my Twitter post, which is one of my best received Twitter posts ever, it's time to realise a lot of these people aren't trying to improve their game. They're not, they're only looking out for themselves. They've lost money. They're annoyed by it. They want So Rare to die because of it. And I don't get it. Like, just move on. Like, you've got to be a special type of weird to try and bring something down because you had a bad experience with it. Anyway, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like. And yeah, this is My Sorare Journey. All the best to you. Cheers.